to another episode of Rising Tide. The purpose of Rising Tide is to educate, heal, and empower by bringing on some of the world's most brilliant minds and purest souls. So it is an honor, and I'm extremely happy today to bring you all Darrin Gibson. I'm going to let him introduce himself, but before he does that, I just want to say that this guy, along with his brother, has definitely changed my life. They both changed my life in two different ways. They both changed and impacted my mentality and my mindset. His brother David more so helped with building my self-esteem and helping my self-image. And then Darrin really played a monumental part in me being more responsible, me taking on responsibility, me earning money, me thinking bigger, me just putting myself in situations that test me and really stretch me to grow. And surprisingly, man, that stuff like really has changed my life. I believe he can even attest to it, because when we met, I mean, I didn't even have $10. I had to borrow $10 to eat some food and all that stuff. And I'm just grateful that my mindset has grown so much since then. So without further ado, I want to give the floor to Darrin Gibson. If you want to just tell us who you are and what it is that you do.
Absolutely, man. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Good. Well, thanks for having me, Chris. It's amazing how we met, and love to see your growth. Love to see everything that you're doing. And thanks for having me, man. I just want to start off by just gratitudes to you and your success and what you all have going on. But really quickly, Darrin Gibson, if you don't know who I am, born and raised in the States, Indianapolis, Indiana, and played sports my whole life. And after basketball didn't work out, wasn't really looking for an opportunity. I was having fun. Went to school in Bloomington, Indiana. I think, Chris, a lot of people get that word opportunity and security twisted. A lot of people say, man, I'm looking for an opportunity, but in reality, most people are looking for a security. So I didn't really know what opportunity looked like at the time. I was 23 years old, heard about this profession that I'm in today, and went to a seminar. Met one of my good friends today. He lived in Vegas. He lived in San Diego at the time, and came and sat down with me in Bloomington, Indiana. And this guy was a multi-millionaire, man. And I asked him who his mentor was, and he said Bob Proctor. So I wanted to go to a seminar with him. To make the long story short, flew out there and met Bob, and met a lot of people, got connected with a lot of individuals. And that really changed my paradigm, the way that I was thinking, and started to read books, started getting the programs. And I started working with Bob for a couple of years. And through him, I met network marketing, which didn't have a good name at the time. But I understood that he knew something that I didn't know. So I said, hey, what the heck? I'm a firm believer that whoever has your ear has your life. And he knew something that I didn't know. So I said, listen, I'm going to try it out. And luckily his wife was in the profession, and I looked at her track record. She was in for about 26 years, well, about 25 years at the time. And the rest is history, man. Ever since then, we've just been growing and helping people and changing lives one by one and all across the globe. It's been a blessing.
So are you still Bob Proctor's, what did they call it, consultant, or are you network marketing full-time, or you still do both, or how does that work?
No. Well, when you're a consultant, that title will always be there. I don't physically sell the programs that I do, that I used to do with him, but I'm a full-time network marketer now. Okay.
And so for the people that have the negative mindset or negative idea or perception of what network marketing is, could you give them a healthier perspective or a more realistic perspective on what network marketing is from somebody who's had success in it? Because most of the times when we hear about network marketing, it's from people who's failed. So from somebody who's actually been successful in it, can you give a healthier perspective or a healthier lens that people can look at network marketing through?
Well, it's when you hear network marketing, Chris, you typically think get some products and sell them door to door, the old traditional way. Mary Kay, a bunch of women rubbing lotion on each other, selling them in their kitchen. But that's not the case today. I mean, we got smartphones, we got laptops, we got the internet that's just going to just get bigger and bigger and grow. We're one like the majority of my business is out the country. So it's I think it's the what comes to mind is when people say that knowledge is expensive. In reality, ignorance is expensive. And you just got to go to somebody that has the proven results. That's all I've done. I went to a couple of people that had a proven track record, that had the results that I essentially wanted. And I asked them the questions, and they were saying, you know, whoever told you those ideas about what network marketing is, I guarantee you they're probably quit at it. I guarantee you they probably never even earned a six-figure income, and never really succeeded at it. So I'm a firm believer, man, don't take advice from quitters. Go to somebody that is making it happen and get a different perspective. And that's all I really did. Network marketing to me is you're a coach, you're mentoring people. So when people say, how, you know, what made you change from doing what you were doing, from consulting to doing this right here with network marketing? Well, I don't think it's anything different. I'm still consulting. I'm still working with you, but we're doing it together. We're building each other up. Most people think it's recruit. And that's not really the case. It's really you got to go to people and find out what they want and teach them how to do it. That's what network marketing essentially is show enough people how to get what they want. And I believe the reason why in the beginning network marketing had a bad name was, yes, it's not the profession, it's the people. It's the people that really go out and make this a bad name I call it desperate distributors. If you're a desperate distributor, you're going to send off the bad energy. But if you're doing it for fun, if you're doing it because you really love helping people, and you're doing it because you want to really change lives, financially, physically, mentally, whatever your product is. My product has to deal with health and wellness. So if you really want to go out there and do it the right way, it has a good name, and that's what I'm here to do. I want to make this business look good. I want to make this business look sexy. I want to make this business look successful, and we're doing pretty well at it today.
And just to qualify, my brother Darren over here, for those of you who might just be, you know, the skeptical wheel might be going off in your mind and everything like that. Him and his brother are extremely humble, so you got to kind of pry out their accomplishments and their achievements. But this guy be on private jets with Bob Proctor all the time. This guy, I mean, tailored suits, bought the house from his parents that they grew up in. I mean, had a Lambo. I don't know how many years ago that was, 5, 6 years ago.
I sold it last September. All
right. So he's not somebody that's like renting a Lamborghini or just standing in front of one and taking pictures and putting it all on social media to get you following. Like, I witnessed this guy go from not having any of that stuff to literally transforming not even just his life, but literally the lives of everybody that he is connected to. Now, when I said that, it triggered something in my mind. How many people, so you originally got this opportunity, you're just now finishing up with college and all that. So I'm assuming your environment or your associations or your circle was completely different back then than your circle and your environment and all that now. So talk to me a little bit about that transition.
It was tough because I had a lot of close friends that I grew up with since, you know, kindergarten, 2nd grade, 6th grade. And when I tell people all the time when they say, you know, what was the main thing that did it or that's doing it for a lot of people, is the key to success is, one of the things is you want to be exposed to something better, because you don't know that you're poor until you hang around somebody that's wealthy, or you got to be around something that really opens up your eyes. When you see something bigger, you're going to want to do something bigger. And when I went to that seminar, for instance, when I flew out to San Diego, but we drove from San Diego to LA with Brad. He's one of my good friends today. and he picked me up in his Lambo, you know. So it was like, I mean, we come from Indiana. We don't see stuff like that, and especially from the West Side where we come from, you just don't see stuff like that. And when I saw him doing it, and Brad's not the smartest guy, Brad's not the, you know, he's a normal kid. And when I saw an average guy that just had an above average dreams, if he can do it, then I can do it. And so I was just exposed to something different. And when I came back, getting that information, I knew that my friends, they didn't get the type of, they weren't there for 3 days like I was. So they didn't see what I saw. They didn't hear what I heard. And I had to respect that. In the beginning, I didn't understand it, but now I do. So when I wanted to, it's like you get saved, right? And you want all your friends to get saved. You get baptized. You want all your friends to get baptized. You know, but that's not the case. You know, they say out of 10 of your friends, one might change. One might change. But you got to be the one that steps out and change your environment, because environment's more important than heredity. It doesn't matter what you're born or raised into. What matters is what you see every day is what you'll be every day. So when I got that information, I wanted to, for one, give it to my friends, but they weren't ready to grow. Most people want change, but they don't want to be changed. And for me, I wanted not just change. Like, it's not about, do you want that 6-figure, 7-figure, whatever goal you're going for, income. It's not the money that's going to change your life. It's the mindset that's going to change your life. So I had to understand that I had to change my paradigm, my way of thinking. And I didn't care what they thought. I care about what I think, because you could think what you want to think. But if I screw up my thinking, then I'm screwed. So I wanted to saturate my mind with this information. And I knew that I was going to attract the right people in my life. I mean, we don't attract what we want, we attract who we are. And if we want something bigger and better, we got to be bigger and better. So when my friends wasn't ready to step out at that time, that's cool. I was willing to do it by myself, because leadership starts off with just you, and then you climb that mountain with different people over time.
And so how did that go about? Because I remember you like building your tribe, or like your following of like the people that's like really with the mission. So how did you go about, all right, out of, 10 of my friends, one might change. All right, it don't look like none of them is changing, but I got to find people to help build this business. So how did you go about finding the different people, and how did you know who would stick around, or like what made, Emilio or Tier or some of the other people that was constantly around? How did you gravitate towards them? And how did you know, all right, this is somebody that I can rock out with to help me grow?
I didn't know. You won't know. For instance, Tier, he comes from he comes from where my mom's side of the family is, Hallville, right? Indianapolis. And I didn't think that he was really going to change into the guy that he was today. I was willing. I don't look for people that just have the results. I look for people that have the drive. And if you got the drive, I can't teach you. I can teach you skills. I can't teach you drive. Like, I can teach you how to cook, but I can't teach you how to be hungry. And Tier was just one of those guys he just stuck around, man. He was kind of like me, where he stopped hanging with the people that weren't pushing him towards where he wanted to be. And he latched on to me, and I was blessed to mentor him. And he was crazy enough for me to mentor him, I guess. And now he's traveling everywhere. He's speaking in Germany and training people how to do the same thing. Emilio, he gravitated towards me when you start attracting different people. So I like what Earl Nightingale says, when you're moving towards your goal is moving towards you. So they were just on that right frequency that I was on. So when I saw Emilio in LA, he asked to come to Indiana because he wanted to be mentored by me, and he ended up staying in Indiana for many years. So because he loved the results that he was getting, and he loved the environment that we were setting in place. I never knew. I tell people all the time, the numbers never change, only the faces do. So you'll never know really, oh, that one's going to be the one. Or this one's going to, he's in my inner circle. For one, Emilio, he came around my second year, I believe, second or third year, I believe, or I think it was the second. Tierra came around my third year. I mean, so my first people that I was really pouring into and investing time and energy into them, they're not here today, so it wasn't, I think, but every single level, I look at this business, I look at life, I look at whatever success you're trying to reach. It's like an elevator. When you're on that first level and you're trying to get to the 100th floor, everybody on each level, there's going to be somebody new that comes in the next level, but eventually that elevator is going to say to the capacity, we can't take everybody. Some people's going to have to jump off. Some bad habits is going to have to go. Some bad way of thinking is going to have to leave for you to reach up to where you want to be. So I think that every person my first year was just level me up for the next year and the next year and the next year. And Emilio just came in that second level, and Tierra came in that third level, and Jason came in that second level. Jason, he's one of my youngest stars, 23 years old, doing very well in business. And so I think, I don't really look at people and say this person's going to be the one, because I never know who's going to blow up. I mean, everybody's like a mind. You never know who's going to blow up. You never know who's really hungry and who's not just talking about it, that really wants to do it. I'm not looking for barkers, man. Anybody can bark. I'm looking for biters.
Facts. So let me ask you, and shout out to Jason. That's my dude.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, you had spoke about, a lot of the people that you were pouring into at first aren't really here now, or didn't even stick around long enough to be around with Emilio was there or Tierra was there. And a lot of people find difficulty in walking away from things that they've invested in, whether it's a relationship. Oh, I didn't pour too much into this person, so I can't walk around even though it's not serving me no more. Even they have issues with letting go. And it seems like you didn't have issues with, oh, so what? I didn't pour so much into you. I didn't gave you all this knowledge. I didn't gave you all this game. I didn't spend all this time with you and all that. Oh, well, seems like network marketing ain't for you. I respect that. And you always just seem cool with just seeking out other people. You didn't seem to hold on to something that didn't want to be there. So can you kind of talk about that mindset with being okay with letting whoever is not meant to be around go, and then just keep focusing on whoever is meant to be there?
Well, I'm human. I mean, it hurts when you put, sometimes, you invest time, energy, money sometimes, and if we travel, I'm gonna help you out. When they leave, that's okay. If I want to help, if I was genuinely wanting to help you, I can't get mad when you leave if we're not earning together. That means I was using you. And there's a quote that comes to mind that Bob and Linda's always told me: if I need you, I can't lead you. If you need people, you can't lead people. So it's very important that your heart has to be in the right place. Now, will it hurt? Absolutely. Like I said, Chris, we're human. It's tough when people leave, but the goal should never change. Only the plan does. The goal, most people, when the plan doesn't work, they change the goal. I've never been that type of person. If my plan doesn't work, I change and find a new plan. I'll change and find a new plan. It's very important that you fall in love with the process and not just the result. I love the process. I love getting up at 4 a.m. I love, doing calls for Australia in the morning. I love, going and working out every single morning and doing, I've changed this business into fun. And when you change your business into fun, they say it all the time. You never have to work a day in your life. I mean, this business it's fun to me. It's unsuccessful people. Well, successful people do things that unsuccessful people don't want to do. And you ask the question, why do some of these successful people, quote unquote, want to do things that unsuccessful people don't want to do? Well, it's not that they want to do it. They just changed what they were doing into a habit. And when you change what you're doing into a habit, you don't have any say so. You just do it naturally. Like winning is a habit and losing is a habit. It's a way of thinking. Poverty is not a result. Poverty is a result. It's not a, it's a result that people have. Like people ask me all the question, Chris, man, network marketing, what's the statistics in network marketing with people quitting? Well, the same statistics in everything. It's not an industry. Quitting is not an industry. Quitting is a habit that people have. So we got to stop asking the question, what's the statistics? I don't care what the statistics are. Like I tell people all the time, Chris, don't tell me the facts, tell me the truth, because facts can change all the time. Tell me the truth. Facts change all the time. Like the fact right now is now there's a pandemic going on and people are now freaking out. And I was talking to my guy, one of my UK leaders, his name's Jake, and he said something on the presentation. He said, this pandemic has changed the world. I said, this pandemic didn't change the world. I said, this pandemic revealed the world. The world was already shifting and changing. So you're either prepared or you're repaired, is what I tell people all the time. So you got to, now you have to think ahead of the environment, of the economic system. You have to think ahead, because adversity doesn't build character. It doesn't just build it. It reveals character. Adversity reveals the character. So I don't even know how I got on that topic, man, but it's quitting with people. That's cool. I just never made, I don't know if you remember this, Chris, my first year when you were coming to my meetings, I didn't have, people were coming, going. It was challenging my first year. And I knew that I had to learn the skills. I knew that I had to sharpen my skills, learn the skills. I mean, I didn't party. I didn't drink for like 7 months, 8 months. I was reading books. I was listening to audios. I made these guys my best friends, and I was kind of like distance away from these guys because they were texting me about, crazy stuff that we used to do. And I'm like, nah, I got to do this over here. I got to learn. I got to sharpen my craft. Most people aren't willing to do that, man. Most people just can't do it. And like Bob said, if you can't do it, then you don't deserve the reward. Point blank. How can I call myself a leader if I can't stay focused for a year? So for me, it was, you know what? Let me do this. Let me focus. Let me get my mind to catch up with my goal, because the goal's already there. Our mind has to be there now. God has already given us everything we want. Everything we want is already here. We have to be there. We're not waiting on him. He's waiting on us. So for me, I was thinking, if I just become a better person. So when I was doing those events and all those people were coming, Chris, you remember when I used to say, the people that were in the business, I would say, if you quit, I will make sure that this is the worst business mistake you've ever made. I don't know if you remember I used to say that stuff. Now I do. I would say I will make sure that this is the worst business mistake you ever made. Not because of the business, but because I don't have a habit of quitting. There's no habit with Darren that I'll jump in, jump out, jump in, jump out, jump in this, jump in that, jump out. That's not a habit that the Gibsons have. When we put our foot on something, we're going to do it. And I took that to heart. So imagine me giving up. I would look crazy. So
let me ask you, what's some of the sacrifices? Because that's one thing me and you go in a lot on, and that's something that I have learned a lot from you on, is like making sacrifices. One of the things you always used to say was that, we want our success, but God wants our sacrifice. Right. So what are some of the sacrifices that you see people who get into network marketing and don't do well? What are some of the sacrifices that they refuse to make that the people who are being successful in network marketing are making?
I can go on and on about that. I mean, there's so many things to sacrifice. If you're going to grow a business, not just network marketing, you have to keep pouring into your business money-wise. You have to keep, because what you invest in, you become. So you have to keep pouring in time, energy, and money into your business. What I find what people do, which is silly, is they get their first 6 figures and they buy a Lamborghini, right? You know, or whatever it is. I mean, I was young and silly at that time, you know, and just doing that. Now I look at that and I don't want the vehicle. I want the whole doggone store. I want the whole lot. Right. So now my mindset is it has shifted from stop trying to look rich and let's actually be rich. Let's actually be there. So I mean, and that came from exposure too. I mean, I was out in Toronto for a bit and I would see a lot of, millionaires not have vehicles. A lot of millionaires not have a house. They're staying in apartments and condos, and they're talking about how don't get the home. Totally different paradigm shift from where we come from, Indiana. Get your house, get you a vehicle. But their mindset is shifting. No, don't get that. That will come. Keep pouring into your business. Keep pouring in. That's one sacrifice right there. I think people get a little cash and they splurge it all because business sometimes go up and down, up and down, up and down. But you want it to continually keep going up. But you got to understand that if you get some good cash, if you get some good income, you want to put that away a little bit. You don't splurge it like I was doing. I was having too much fun back then. But now I'm a little bit more smarter now because now I understand income a little bit. Now my relationship with income is different now. So I think that was one thing for the sacrifices.
I want to get back to more sacrifices, but as you're saying something, I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on something that triggered in my mind as you were speaking. And it said that you have to learn to burn your desires out or your desires will burn you out. So it's basically saying that when you have a desire, if you don't actually work to manifest that desire, then that desire is going to eventually burn you out because you're going to grow old. You're going to be angry and resentful and all these other things because you never even tried to pursue that dream or that vision that you had in your mind. So I think that now that you are able to get the Lamborghini, it was good that you burnt that out. Now you're like,
yeah,
now my mind is on something else. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think I don't regret it. It was one. I mean, I had it for 4.5 years. It was one of the best things in my life.
Yeah, you were stunting in the city for sure.
Now, you're right, man. It was something that I had to go through. It's just like in college, when I was in Bloomington, Indiana, we were partying every day, literally. If you've been in IU and know what that's about, I was there for 4 years, and I'm glad that I burnt that out because now I see people in their 30s, 35s doing that now, and so it's now it's I think, yeah, for sure. It's you got to find that balance and burn that out for sure. Yeah. I'm grateful for me doing that for sure. I mean,
facts.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to tie it back into what you were saying when in regards to college too. That's one thing I feel kind of benefits me when it comes to taming my sexual drive, because a lot of times when I was younger, man, when I was in college, my number was something, honestly, I'm ashamed of. As I get older, you ain't proud of your body count and all the other stuff no more. Because we know it's really the intangibles that really kind of separate women. Every woman got the thing that we, penetrate, but it's the other things that really matter. So it's like, it helps me out now, having burnt all that out before, where I could be around a female and I'm not even thinking about sex. And I'm not trying to resist it. But it's just like, I had a lot of that years ago. So it's like now my mind is on other things when it comes to intimacy and when it comes to the woman and like, I'm not sexualizing her all the time. Even sometimes with my girl, she'd be like, yo, I'd be like, man, my fault. I just really just be around you. And I'm not just thinking about sex all the time. Like, I could just be around you and just enjoy you and not want to do anything with you sexually and all that stuff because I didn't burn all that out years ago. So that's what came to my mind as you started talking about the IU day. So I agree with you wholeheartedly.
I always tell people what's cute in your 20s is trifling in your 30s. You know, you can't, it's not a cute thing anymore when you get older. You know, and some people, I tell people all the time, maturity doesn't always come with age. Sometimes age comes alone. And when I see people that are getting older, but they're not getting wiser, for instance, with the women that you just said, imagine me still having that drive that I was having, you know, the D-Gib going crazy in college, and me trying to run a multi-billion-dollar business. It's impossible. I can't be around. That means I can't be around attractive women. That means I can't, you know, I'm going to try to keep doing stuff. I tell people all the time, as soon as you do something with that woman in your business, she's gone. She's gone. And a lot of my, you know, some leaders take heed to it, some don't, and some people got to learn the hard way. Some people learn from the mentors. You can either learn from people or you can learn from pain, and some people want to try that out. So it's if you want to run a successful business, you'll be around it. You always find somebody that's attractive. I mean, come on, man. I've been in Australia, I've been in Germany, I've been in Switzerland, I've been in Sweden, you're always you
earn a lot, and these ladies know what you be earning. And shoot, I could show a person a picture of you, and they always be like, "Oh, he look like he wealthy." Like, so I know that they be
they try.
They be on you.
But that's another sacrifice you got to have. You know, that's something you got to stay strong-minded to. And it's not just for sacrifice for business. It's sacrifice for me. It's sacrifice for God. I want to get closer with Him. You know, so it's different, man. It's different when you're trying to run something successful, man.
So let's talk about that sex transmutation. How much have you noticed as you've tamed, you know, your sexual energy growing up and everything? How much have you noticed that energy being able to be transmuted into other things? And do you find that to be true, the whole sex transmutation thing, and you've been able to put greater energy into your other endeavors?
Yeah. Hold on, somebody's out here. Let me change places. Sure.
All right. So you were saying you can either learn from people or you can learn from pain, and we were talking about sexual transmutation in regards to growing and scaling your business.
Yeah. When it comes to everything's energy, man, and working with Bob and Linda, they've just changed my whole perspective, my whole mindset when it comes to, and hopefully you can't hear that too loud, but
you're good.
They changed my whole perspective when it came to energy and et cetera, sexual drive, there was a time when it was a while because I was so focused. It wasn't because of that, Chris. I think that when you have direction, you know what's going to get you there and you know what's not going to get you there. So when you have direction, you're so focused on what you're trying to get to. It's like an obsession, right? A burning desire. And everyone thinks that obsession, that word, is a negative word. It can be a positive thing when you direct it in the right way. And for me, I just had a goal of where I wanted to be. I had a goal of what I wanted to do. So when you're thinking about something all the time, you're not thinking about doing this over here. When it comes to sex, when it comes to partying, when it comes to the reason why, Chris, I think that a lot of people, they have a lot of fun or whatever it is. They just don't have too much fun. You know, I tell people all the time, they party more than celebrities, right? So I think it's because a lot of people, they don't have the direction. But when you have somewhere where you want to go, you're not thinking about that all the time. You're thinking about what you're trying to do. You're so focused on this right here. And when you're doing that, all that energy that's flowing in, all that drive, the drive for you to go somewhere and what you want to do, the power is just amazing, man. You can't stop somebody that has direction like that. Power is amazing.
So what is So basically what you're saying is that if you can have a virtue goal or a high level goal, then when all these lower nature impulses start to come, it's easier to override because you have something that's above and beyond all these lower nature things. So they're not even, like you said, I'm not even really thinking about sex because it ain't got anything to do with, me making $1 million or me making $1 million a month. I think that's what you had said your goal was at your brother's mastermind, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, because and it's not because of the income, it's because of the growth. I think about what type of person do I have to become to earn that? How many lives will I have to change to do that? And how will I dress? How will I walk? How will I talk? How will I smell? It's those things that, because I want to become a better me. And people say, oh, well, they talk about happiness and they talk about they talk about all that stuff. But money, you can measure that right down to the penny. You can't say I was a little bit more happy yesterday. The happiness it's there. But when it comes to income, you got to find a way where you can measure your results. Are you growing? Are you growing mentally? And if your income's growing, your mind is probably growing a little bit, because you never out earn your mind. Whatever you're earning right now is where your mind is set on. So to bring back when it comes to the direction, I look at that like, if I'm going to drive from Indiana to California, and you're driving to Indiana, California, let's say it's about 35, 33. We've driven there before, crazy, years ago. And when we couldn't even afford a plane ticket. But I forget how many hours it was. You're not going to get off the exits that may take you to this state, this city, whatever it is. You're not looking at those exits. You're looking at where you're going. You need it. Your direct, where you're going is California. And oftentimes what most people do when it comes to their goal is at California, whatever their goal is, $1 million a year, whatever the goal is, lose some weight, better relationship. They jump off the exit and now they're wasting more time. See, the problem is, Chris, I think what a lot of people have is, problem is people think that we have time. Time has us, if you think that. So my mindset back then was, I don't have time. I gotta get moving. I gotta help my church. I want to bless my church a certain way. I want to give my mom and dad certain things before they're gone. I want to give my nephew, I'm in his room right now, I want to do certain things for them before I don't have time. So back then I was thinking, I can't jump off the exit. I can't forget the girls, forget them right now. The partying, forget that right now. I don't want to waste time, and I want to drive. While you're playing, I'm going to drive. That's the way that was my mentality back then. While you're having fun, I'm going to get ahead. While you wake up at 9, I'm going to be up at 4. I'm going to do more work in the next 4 hours, in the next 5 hours than what you're going to be doing by the time you wake up. That was my mentality back then. So it's very important that people got to grasp the mentality. It's 95 businesses, 95% mindset, 5% strategy. If you don't have the mindset, you will never grasp the strategy. I don't care how much you strategize. You have to have the mindset. So when I set the goal of that type of income, for one, you got to think I'm around people that earn that. So now it's making me, if I'm around people that, like I said, exposure is key. My friends over here is like, Darren, wow, what you did is amazing. My mentors and friends over here is like, Darren, you're losing. Keep it up. Speed up. So that's why you want to find that friend or mentor that has more than you and that pushes you to want to do more, pushes you. Your environment is either adding, multiplying, or subtracting or dividing you. And if you're in an environment where you're not just subtracting, but you're getting divided, man, you got to find a new environment. And all I've done was I was around, for instance, Bob, me going to Vegas with him and Linda and Marnie and my business partner, Marnie, and seeing the way that they live life. I remember the first time I saw that, it was like, Jesus, you know, like I didn't even know it was real. So that was multiplying my way of thinking.
I remember you saying a quote back then a few years ago where you was like, certain times people think that they're doing good, but you're not doing well. You're just hanging out with people that you're doing better than.
Yeah.
You want to talk to me a little bit about that quote?
Well, when I told Bob, for instance, my Lamborghini, I was like, I thought I was doing it. You know, I'm 23 years old. I'm doing it. I got my own crib. I bought it from my mom and dad's home. I thought I had it made. And Bob said, no, you ain't got it made. He said, you're just around people that don't have it made.
Mm.
And he said, come hang with me. That was one of the reasons, Chris, why I moved. Well, I was supposed to be out there in Toronto for 6 months until the pandemic hit. And to change my way of thinking, because Indiana has this certain, look, the culture is a paradigm. Indiana has a culture, which is a paradigm, a way of thinking. Your family has a culture, a paradigm, a way of thinking. If you really want to change the mindset or the generational curses in your family, we all have them, you're going to have to do something different. You understand that? So that means you got to take yourself out of the frame and be looked at crazy, get talked about, gossiped about. Like our family members, like my family at the time, they want us to be safe and sorry. That's okay. But if you stay safe, you will be sorry. You shouldn't stay safe. You need to take risks. You need to jump out and do something different. You need to, you want it. If you're not getting looked at as crazy, you're doing something wrong. You got to do something crazy. That's the way I look at it.
When you were talking about mindset, it made me think of something else that you had said a few years ago after the Toronto trip. I was asking you, we were talking about the amount of calls that you got to make per day and the amount of people that you got to ask to join Zija at the time. And I was like, Joe, so, you know, as you're kind of like mental rehearsing and all that stuff like that, you know, do you think about people saying no? And you was like, bro, I don't really envision people saying no. Like that's not really thoughts that I'm thinking about. And that was such a shock to me because I'm just like, damn, like I can kind of see why a person would be getting the results that you're getting because you're not sitting up there expecting or suggesting that people will say no. And so therefore, the first time people might say no because you already have that suggestion in your mind, you just stop. As opposed to what you might do because you don't even envision them say no, you might just start asking other questions and everything. I remember the first time where I said I didn't have the money for something and you was like, well, what do you do with your free money? And just that question alone made me start thinking like, damn, well, what do I be doing with the money that comes through my hands right now? And it's like,
There's two things, Chris, that there's only two things that we have that people can maybe grasp off of this. One is poverty of imagination and lack of attention. We use our imagination for the wrong reasons, not for the good reasons. And we can't stay focused for longer than, most people can't stay focused for a week or even 2 days. So it's poverty of imagination. How are we thinking? Because our thoughts control our world. Whatever you think about, you bring about. And you got to stay focused on the good stuff. So whenever you were around me, I wanted to shift your way of thinking for you to tell yourself good thoughts. Like the sensory faculties, that's what most people, they live their life on. What they see, hear, taste, touch, and smell. No, that's just the results that's out here. This right here is nothing. This right here is everything. The life you live today is what you thought about yesterday. The life you want to live tomorrow is going to be controlled by the thoughts that you have today. So if you want a different life, you got to have a different thought pattern. Change your thought patterns. Like I never tell myself I can't afford something. I always say if I want it, I'm gonna get it. And that took time over time by me beating myself up, beating my mind up, getting my mind to think for me. I don't work for my mind. My mind works for me. So that was the mindset that I had to have. And what I want to tell people is, and especially in Indiana and different places, I know you probably got people out in different states and et cetera, Chris, on this podcast, that what I was trying to tell you was when people say I'm having money problems, broke people don't have money problems. Wealthy people have money problems. Broke people have mind problems. We spend the money, we just spend the money on the wrong things.
Facts.
We got the money. And if we can't manage $100, what makes you think you can manage 1,000? If you can't manage 1,000, what makes you think you can manage 100,000? Like Darren, if you can't manage 100,000, get a Lambo or 250. Mine was 450. If you can't manage that type of income, what makes you think you can manage 2 million? Because what broke people do is they get the money and spend it. That's a 9-to-5 mentality. Get it spent. They spend it before the next check even comes. So when you're around wealthy individuals and they guide you and give you the right direction, your mindset starts to change. And that's what I was doing with you and a lot of other people. And that's what happened with you. That's why your mindset changed.
No, facts. And I definitely give you credit for and there's something, that's another thing. Talk to me about the power of, we got another 10 minutes on it. Talk to me about the power of proximity, because to me, my greatest example of that through my own personal experience is being around Bob Proctor. Because before that, like I said, I didn't even have $10 to get any food. Mm-hmm. You feel me? I'm always worried about bills, and my bills, I mean, back then was, I mean, to be 100% honest, maybe 10% of what they are today. So it's like, and I used to be like, I don't know how I'm about to be able to, and it was just something about being in that environment literally did something to my psyche where I don't know. I haven't just went back. I went from literally not earning anything, being the guy that people didn't come to me with opportunities or ideas because I almost built a brand that he's not going to be able to afford it. He doesn't have money. That's not his area. And now it's like, shoot, I mean, you seen the crib I lived out with in Fishers for a year. I was super proud of that. I would have never been able to do that before. Like, and I ain't even had a job in 4 years. So that's just me being an independent contractor, betting on myself, have no idea where the money's about to come from month to month or week to week or whatever. But just like you had said, you got to put yourself in a situation that scares you or that you're afraid to lose, and you'll just figure out how to stay there. So just talk to me a little bit about the power of proximity, and then also about putting yourself in situations that you're scared to lose, knowing that that's going to motivate you to figure out how to stay.
Well, I'll tell people all the time, if you know you're going to be wealthy, why would you be scared of spending money today? Like if you know for a fact that you are going to be wealthy in your life, why would you be scared to invest income into your life? And that's operating in faith is what I tell people. It's law of attraction. What people say, oh, law of attraction. Well, law of attraction, action is in attraction. You got to take action into what you want. And while you're moving towards your goal, it's like Christmas. I look at my goal like Christmas. We know Christmas is coming. We know that day's coming. And you're excited. People get ready for it. People get, and they start buying some gifts. And that day is for sure going to come. Same thing for when, like we talked about with California. When you're driving to California, what do? Before you get there, you start packing. You pack some clothes. You're getting ready for it. You're not going to pack some sweaters because California is not going to be cold. You're going to pack some shorts and probably some. You're getting ready for where you're going. Same thing with your business. Same thing with your goals. Same thing with what you're trying to do with your life. It's the law of gestation is what I call it. Give it some time. It's the process. When I think a baby, it takes 200 and was it 80? What is it? How many days? I don't know. You don't do that with the woman and then go to her next week and say, where's the baby? You know that it takes some time. You know that it takes time for you to nurture that baby and for you to do what the things it needs to do for the baby to be nurturalized in the best way. Same thing with this business, man. Same thing with your mindset. Same thing with your goal. It takes time, but it's ready. Though. That.
Can you repeat it, because it kind of went out when you said, but it's something.
Like the goal's already there for me. If I'm a firm believer, God gives you what you're ready for. If I was to have millions at 23, let's say millions, and some of my friends have done it at 23, God would have been doing a curse for me, not a blessing. My mindset wasn't ready for it. So what we have today is based on what we're ready for today. So money's never the problem. It's always us. How can I become a better person? How can I think on that frequency? And you'll never know how to think on that. You got to get around that environment of people that are doing it. And if you don't have that environment, people that are doing it, look, we got YouTube, we got all this, we got books, we got like Napoleon Hill's my mentor. I read him. Jim Rohn, he's my mentor. These people have passed on, but their information is living on. Bob Proctor, he's my, of course I can talk to him anytime I want. Linda Proctor, I got all these people that are pouring into my ear, getting me ready for where I'm going, getting me prepared, getting me dressed up for where I'm going. So it's very important that people got to know, Chris, that it's going to take some time. It's a process, especially where you come from. If you come from a bad environment, bad neighborhood, whatever it is, you can change your environment within your environment. I changed my environment within my environment. And soon you'll outgrow that environment and you'll be forced to get pushed out. I was forced to get out of Pike Township. I was forced to get out of the West Side and go into Fishers, Geis area in Indiana. I was forced to get in that area because I was on a whole new frequency now. And when you're on a whole new frequency, Chris, you start attracting people that are on the same frequency as you. If you smoke, your 5 friends smoke. If you drink, your 5 friends drink. If you're Negative Nancy, you hang out with Sour Steve and Scary Larry. So it's very important that people have to know that if you know for a fact that you're going to be wealthy, if you know for a fact that you're going to hit your goal, why would you be scared to spend the money today, man? Why would you be scared to spend it? I've never been. Listen, you're either going to be the master and money being the servant, but most people are making money the master and we're the servant. You got to be the master. You demand what goal you're going to hit. And when you have that mentality and when you're around people like that think like that, it just nurturalizes your mindset. It just makes your mind grow even more. Just surround yourself with winners, man. You'll become a winner. That's all it is. Success isn't hard.
Man, bro, the conversations with us can go on for hours, man, and I definitely appreciate it, bro. I done over here got notes on notes on notes, like 3.5 pages worth of notes just from this conversation. Lastly, got about another 4 minutes before my next one starts. Quick question, your 3 top books that have impacted your life the most, and then why?
Well, the Bible has really impacted my life. I'll read Proverbs every day. I met John Maxwell. We were, again, exposed. I was not earning what I'm earning right now. I was very young in network marketing, but one of my mentors, Mike, he took me to a private training with John Maxwell. You had to be 6 or 7 figure to be there. And I was able to bring Kaylee. I was able to bring JR. I was able to bring Tier when he first started because I wanted to expose them. They weren't supposed to be in the meeting either. But somehow they snuck in the back and got in there. But I was there for 2 days and changed my whole world. He told me to read Proverbs. He said, if you read Proverbs, if King Solomon was the most wealthiest and was most wisest person. And I would definitely try to pick his brain. And he said, if you read Proverbs 1 chapter a day, you literally read the whole book every single month. So I've made a dedicated decision to do that. I've been doing that for the last 4 years now. So Proverbs changed my life. Science of Getting Rich, I promise you that got me my Lamborghini. That book changed my whole world. Science of Getting Rich by Waddles D. Waddles. And I carry that book everywhere. It's here with me. And I'm here in Tennessee now. So if I travel to Germany, if I travel to Australia, that book is in my bag for sure.
How many times would you say you've read that book?
I don't know. I mean,
many times, though. It's not something you just read once.
Well, and I don't read the whole book. I'll just pick a chapter. I'll pick a chapter and just read it. It makes me feel good, man. It makes me feel. Find a book that makes you feel good, man, and it's amazing. And that book would change anyone's life. Like, Bob Proctor says, Think and Grow Rich did it for him. Think and Grow Rich didn't do it for me. I've read the book Think and Grow Rich, but I think it hit Bob a different way. Decision is huge in Think and Grow Rich, and so the subconscious and Think and Grow Rich, amazing. But Science of Getting Rich did it for me because I wasn't the smartest kid, and it was an easy read, and a fourth grader can understand it. So it was perfect for me. The third book, I don't know, man. There's so many books I can say. I can say The Power of Awareness. I can say Bob Proctor's Prosperity, the book I told you to get, You're Prosperous. There's a book called Faith. There's a book called, I can go on and on. I will probably say U Squared.
U Squared?
I would probably say U Squared.
That's lit. And that was definitely one of my favorite books right there. That U Squared is I tell boys, it's like 36 pages, but boy, it is powerful.
It makes you
cool. Well, also, Darren, man, just let the people know how they can support you and where they could find you at.
Anywhere. I'm getting back with my social media game. I kind of slacked off in the last year or so. Been so crazy building, but Instagram is Darrin_Gibson7. That's DARRIN_GIBSON 7. And Facebook is just Darren Gibson. And now my team is putting YouTube stuff on YouTube, and you can even find some stuff on YouTube. And so, yeah, that's where you can find me. I use Instagram more than anything, but I'm going to start using Facebook a lot more as well.
All right, and I'm going to make sure that I get the link to everything that his team is doing, and I'm going to post that in the comments. So by the time you're watching this, you'll have all the different links to be able to get access to them. And again, Darren, I appreciate you joining Rising Tide. The purpose of Rising Tide is to educate, heal, and empower by bringing on the world's most brilliant minds and purest souls. So as you can see, he's definitely a pure soul, and he's definitely a brilliant mind with extraordinary results. He was a rising tide to us today in the area of mindset, in the area of money, in the area of personal development, and so many other things. So Darren Gibson, I appreciate you, man, and you be blessed, brother.
Thank you, Chris. I'm so proud of you, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
Appreciate you.
Thanks,
Peace.
Man.